Welcome back to City Education, your home for education in all forms, shapes, and sizes. Today we dive deep into the different views of environmental protection, how our constitution, laws, and ethical perspectives shape the way we protect our planet. Section 24 of the South African Constitution gives everyone the right to an environment that is not harmful to their health and well-being. But how do we interpret this? Is it for the benefit of humans only? Or does nature itself have a right to thrive? Let's explore. The first perspective on environmental protection is the anthropocentric view, basically the human-centered approach. It sees the environment mainly through the lens of how it benefits people. The core idea is that we protect the environment to secure our own survival, comfort, and economic development. Clean air to breathe, safe water to drink, fertile soil for farming, and the stability of our climate are all essential for our physical, psychological, social, and cultural well-being. This approach is deeply rooted in our legal system. Section 24 of our Constitution guarantees everyone the right to an environment that is not harmful to their health or well-being. Section 2, subsection 2 of the National Environmental Management Act, or NEMA, goes further by stating that environmental management must place people and their needs at the forefront, serving these interests equitably. Essentially, it's about ensuring equitable access to natural resources for both present and future generations. Critics argue that the anthropocentric approach prioritizes human needs above all else, sometimes at the expense of other species or ecosystems. However, supporters point out that environmental conservation under this view leads to sustainable resource use, conserving biodiversity because it underpins economic growth, tourism, agriculture, and human health. In South Africa, this perspective explains why environmental laws often balance economic development with conservation. Protecting our forests, rivers, and wildlife is not just for their own sake. It is because they safeguard our socio-economic interests and quality of life. From creating green jobs to providing ecosystem services, the anthropocentric approach links environmental protection directly to human prosperity. In contrast of the human-centered anthropocentric approach, the ecocentric view recognizes that all living and non-living components of the environment have intrinsic value that exists regardless of their usefulness to humans. Under this perspective, nature is not just a resource for people to use. It's a community to which we belong. The ecocentric view calls for harmony between humans and all of nature, acknowledging that the air, water, land, plants, and animals are interconnected and equal in their right to exist. South Africa, known for its rich biodiversity, relies heavily on ecological balance, not only for survival, but also for sectors like tourism and agriculture. Section 2, subsection 4, paragraph A of the NEMA requires that we avoid disturbing ecosystems and losing biological diversity wherever possible, or at the very least, minimize and remedy these impacts. The White Paper on Diversity of 1997 envisions a nation that coexists harmoniously with nature while benefiting sustainably from its rich biological diversity. This approach is supported by the philosophy of deep ecology, which urges humans to rethink their relationship with nature. It promotes values such as inherent worth of all life, the importance of biodiversity, and the obligation to minimize human interference. Courts have echoed this perspective in cases like Barnet versus Minister of Land Affairs 2007 and the Wildlife Society of Southern Africa versus Minister of Environmental Affairs and Tourism 1996. These cases recognized the need to balance human development and ecological preservation. Ultimately, the ecocentric view teaches that protecting nature is not just about what we get from it, but about respecting its own rights to flourish. Preserving ecosystems ensures the survival of all lives, including ours. Now, deep ecology takes the ecocentric perspective even further. It challenges us to fundamentally change our relationship with nature, from seeing ourselves as masters of the environment to recognizing that we are simply one part of the living community. This philosophy is based on 8 key principles. Number 1 is that all life, human and non-human, has inherent value, independent of its usefulness to us. Number 2, the richness and diversity of all life forms contribute to the well-being of all, and this diversity is valuable in itself. Number 3, humans have no right to reduce this diversity except to meet vital needs like food or survival. Number 4, sustainable ecology balance may require a reduction in human population in order to relieve pressure on ecosystems. Here. Number 5, current levels of human interference in the natural world are excessive and damaging. Number 6, policies must change, affecting economics, technology, and ideology to prioritize ecological sustainability. Number 7, quality of life should be valued over an endless pursuit of higher living standards. And principle number 8, those who live in these principles have an obligation to take action to protect the environment. Now, South Africa's environmental framework reflects aspects of deep ecology. Section 3 of the NEMA on biodiversity mandates that the state conserve and sustain South Africa's genetic resources, progressively realizing the environmental rights in Section 24 of the Constitution. The White Paper on Biodiversity envisions a future where people live in harmony with nature, benefiting from and sustaining our ecological wealth. Cases such as Barnet versus Minister of Land Affairs and Wildlife Society of South Africa versus Environmental Affairs and Tourism, as mentioned above, reinforce that policy and decision-making must consider ecological integrity, not just human convenience. Deep ecology reminds us that respecting the intrinsic value of all life is the key to sustainability. Environmental protection in South Africa is not about choosing between humans and nature, but about finding balance. The anthropocentric view prioritizes human needs and socio-economic development, while the ecocentric and deep ecology approaches remind us that nature has value in its own right, beyond human use. Our constitutional environmental laws aim to integrate these perspectives, protecting the environment for present and future generations while respecting the intrinsic worth of all life. In practice, this means weighing economic growth and social needs against ecological sustainability. For example, policies on mining, agriculture, and urban development must consider not just human welfare, but also biodiversity, ecosystem health, and long-term resilience. Section 2 of the NEMA embodies this balance through the principle of sustainable development, requiring that environmental management serves human interest equitably while minimizing ecological harm. The courts have also emphasized the need to protect biodiversity, recognizing that unchecked human activity threatens both nature and future human well-being. They also emphasize the obligation to integrate ecological considerations into land and use policies. Ultimately, South Africa's environmental vision is one of harmony, a future where humans thrive alongside a protected and flourishing natural world. The debate between anthropocentric and ecocentric approaches isn't about choosing sides. It's about understanding that our well-being is inseparably linked to the health of our environment. Section 24 of the Constitution guarantees the right to an environment that is not harmful to our health or well-being, while NEMA and the White Paper on Biodiversity guide us in achieving sustainable development and ecological balance. As South Africa continues to grow, we face the challenge of protecting our unique biodiversity while addressing pressing social and economic needs. Deep ecology calls for a shift in mindset from seeing nature as a resource for human use to recognizing its inherent value. Courts have reinforced this by holding decision makers accountable for integrating environmental integrity into policies and development plans. The future of environmental protection lies in collaboration. Governments, businesses, and individuals must work together to protect ecosystems, reduce excessive human interference, and promote sustainability. Protecting nature means protecting ourselves, our communities, and generations to come. Let's commit to this vision, a prosperous South Africa where people and nature live together. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to City Education for more legal insights.